Have you ever been in a situation where either you or somebody else jumps right into solving a problem, but doesn't stop to think about the actions they take or the consequences that may arise as a result of those actions? This lack of a commonsensical, well-thought-through plan can lead to unexpected things. Highly unexpected things. Though I was quite young, maybe 1 or 2 years old at the time of the incident that I'm about to share with you. The story about the moment my dad lacked this very important common sense has been told and retold to me throughout the years. It all started with our basketball hoop. Every year during the hot summer, wasps would invade that basketball hoop, making it very difficult and sometimes impossible to use it during the time of their nesting. One balmy evening at my house, I was inside playing with my siblings. My mom was doing some cleaning around the house, and my dad was watching TV. The wasps had overrun the hoop a couple days prior, and my dad, deciding that there wasn't anything worth watching on TV, and now having nothing else to do, came up with one of his bright ideas and set out to rid our basketball hoop of its particularly large wasp nest. Apparently, one of my dad's buddies had told him that you can easily kill wasps by using extreme heat. So, my dad, in his usual fashion, went through a mental checklist of what he thought would be the best way to solve our little problem. Step 1. Acquire a flammable substance. My dad got up from the couch and went to the garage, where he found a 3-gallon can of gasoline. You know, the gasoline one is supposed to keep at hand to fill the lawnmower. Anyway, my dad picked up the red can, took it outside, and proceeded to pour nearly all of its contents down the neck of the basketball hoop. During this, my mom, brother, sister, and I were all curiously watching my dad from the large bay window in our front room as he proceeded to the next phase of his plan. Step 2. Light it up. After placing the mostly empty gasoline can on the ground between his feet, my dad pulled out a box of matches, struck one of the red tips against the box, and threw the flaming stick onto the soaked basketball hoop. At this moment, my mom let in a loud gasp, and probably a word or two that I shouldn't repeat here. Within seconds, the entire metal cylinder stand was on fire. Watching his achievement with pride, it took a few moments for my dad to realize that a stream of flaming gasoline was quickly coming straight toward him and the somewhat empty gasoline can between his feet. In a flurry of sudden panic, my dad made the quick decision to kick the gasoline can away from his legs and instead toward the flaming basketball hoop. Unfortunately, the pole of the basketball hoop was cemented into a very dry, grassy lawn, and the flying gasoline can went right past the pole and onto this porched hill. As you might expect, this resulted in an even bigger fire, leading to Step 3. Put fire out. The only thing that was running through my dad's head at this moment was to acquire water. So, he ran around the side of the house, grabbed the hose, threw the hose over the fence, turned the faucet on high, and hurried to the other side of the fence, where the running end of the hose was waiting for him. He then grasped the end of the hose and bolted toward the end of the driveway, where the hoop and the hill was still ablaze. Then, to make matters worse, while my dad was running full speed toward the fire, the hose got caught up in the fence and jerked my dad's arm, causing him to flip backwards flat on his back onto the lawn halfway to the fire. During the course of these events, my mother stood dumbfounded at the living room window, witnessing her husband's attempt at getting rid of the wasp problem. Also during this time, my mom had the common sense to call up the fire department. By the time the firemen finally arrived at the scene, my dad had won his battle with the hose and proceeded to extinguish the flames. However, instead of citing or at least scolding my father, my mom noticed that the firemen were laughing with my dad as he explained the story of how he solved our wasp problem. So, audience, the next time you question whether or not something is the right thing to do, let us reflect upon this adult's decision of how to handle a simple problem and the consequences that followed. We can all learn a lot from our parents' advice, but even more so from their mistakes.